Snow or hail, tornadoes, hurricanes, tsunamis, earthquakes. You keep going. You don't stop. It just keeps going and going and going and going. First snow of the season. Didn't even know he was there, son. Didn't even know he was there. He don't seem to mind, so I don't seem to mind either. It's Monday. Let it be. That's words of wisdom. Let it be. You don't mind, I don't mind. Let's just keep going. See them, they don't sneak up on me like that too often. She did. He got me, I gotta admit, he got me. He snuck up right on me. looked out my window and sure enough, boom, there he was. And you could see him coming. It happens. State trooper. But I am thankful he doesn't care this morning, so, or at least not enough to stop me, so I'm thankful. Hope he has a wonderful day. Hopefully that state police officer has a wonderful day today. Well, this is the best day he's had in a while. So he didn't seem to mind what I was doing, so hope he has a good day. Well, it was snowing and then it just quit. I guess the weather today is bipolar. It doesn't know what it wants to do. But it does know that it wants to be cold. And it is cold. It is currently 27 degrees. Today's high is like 30. So it's not even going to get above freezing today. Not even in my home state of Tennessee. It's supposed to be back in the 60s and 70s later this week. Hope y'all staying warm. I had a fairly decent weekend. I was sick. I wouldn't necessarily call it sick. I had a cold. It got me down. It got me down Saturday. I done a little bit. I done a bare minimum. There wasn't much to do anyway. I was busy yesterday, though, that's a fact. Getting all the vehicles ready for this cold. Trying to get the pool ready. Ended up having to cut that job short. What else to do? Got the dishes for the old lady. All the trash, clean the bathrooms up. That's what I did. I'm the bathroom cleaning person. The bathrooms, toilets and stuff, tubs and sinks need cleaning. I do that. I don't let the old lady do it. I do it for her, you know. That's what you do for your missus. You help her out. It's not a gender role, it's everybody's job. If you live in the house, it's everybody's job. this winter, your battery's going to be drained. The car won't start. Hopefully it's just a battery. I don't know, a starter might be cheaper than a battery these days. Maybe I can pass it. Oh, okay, it's too low. It's too low. Why is this guy in the middle lane? What's up with this guy? What's up with Forsage? It's in the left lane like that. What's the matter with that dude? Now he wants to get over. Should already been over there climbing these big hills. That Baja Goat sea salt it is awesome. It tastes so good. And that stuff is good. I put it on everything, but I can remember. Oh man, it tastes, it's got really good taste. Salt. The hill here, we'll grab that left lane past the pool guy up here. I think we're just going to roll the dice. Feeling lucky. Scam calls again. It's all day, Monday through Saturday. Sunday's the only day I don't get scam calls. I get them all day, every day, Monday through Saturday. Over 200 scam call numbers, and like they're still able to call. You can block every one of them, they're still calling. If I blocked every one of them, it'd be probably a little over 300. But it doesn't matter. Block them and they still manage to call. Go. y'all just missed it. It wasn't much though. First snow of the season down here anyway, south. Cold today. Is basically the very first cold day we've had, at least in the south anyway. But it's supposed to be back in the 60s and 70s later this week. But shortly all that will end and it'll be freezing all the time. The sun is already set, 3 o'clock there. That's wild. Well, I don't know if y'all change your time, but we change our time. What they call that daylight savings. They call it daylight savings time. Y'all may do it. I don't know. But we took the clocks back an hour. But it makes really no sense because if you take the time back 1 hour, yeah, okay. Before they done that, the sun would set like it would depend like 8 o'clock. But then, 8, 9 o'clock, then you take it back 1 hour. The sun sets at 9 p.m. You take it back 1 hour, then you think the sun will set at 8 p.m. But it doesn't. It sets around 5:30 p.m. And it makes no sense. And the further we get into the winter, it'll set a little bit earlier each night. So, I don't understand that. So when time comes back up 1 hour, comes spring, then the sun, and then sometime in the summer, it'll sit just after 10 p.m. It'll be completely dark. I don't understand how that works. It's weird. It's weird to me. I need somebody to explain that to me. I really have never looked into it, but I've always wondered, like, how the hell does that make sense? Daylight savings, Finland. Okay, okay, so y'all change your time. You go back an hour and go up an hour, okay. Oh, y'all did it a week before we did? Okay, I can't remember when we done it. It was a week or two ago now. Might have been the 1st of November, or sometime the last of October. I can't remember now. It's been 2 or 3 weeks ago. My sleep pattern didn't change. I slept a lot Saturday. I was taking naps. I had a bad cold Saturday. I didn't really do too much. There wasn't much to do anyway, so I would take naps here and there. I think off and on from morning time when I got up. I was sleeping until like 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon. I'd get up, do something, and I'd go back to sleep. I'd get up, go do something, go back to sleep. That's what my Saturday consisted of. And the LA lady wanted me to go to the store with her, and I was like, no, I don't want to. But I managed to muster the energy, and I went. I would be leaning on pillars in the store, just trying to take a nap. I said, honey, I don't know if I can walk through the store as much as I think you want to walk through the store. I guess it's kind of what I needed. I survived that, done it. Coming on earlier last week. Finally got to Saturday. Wasn't too bad, I guess. Sunday. Decided to come out. How long that lasts. Well, what'd y'all do this weekend? Big goals, man. I hope it was better than mine. Says he went to the city and bought himself a new jacket. Fantastic. Oh, FedEx, what are you doing, buddy? Hello there, FedEx. What are you doing, man? You gotta take a nap. Pull over and take a little power nap, a little cat nap. Father's Day is in June, like June 16th, I think. Somewhere in June is Father's Day, I believe. I think Mother's Day is in May or April. I can't remember. I think it's May. Mother's Day is May, I believe, and Father's Day is in June. Yeah, 9/11. Yeah, that's our anniversary for when we got attacked. Anything, there's always conspiracy theories. But some of it makes sense, but yeah, you never know the truth really. You just gotta believe whatever they tell you. And if you dig into it too much, you might get unalived. Just like, hey, anyway, we ain't here to talk about conspiracy theories, but I'd like to know about Hillary Clinton back in the 90s, how that dude unalived himself with 2 rounds to the back of his head, and they say he done it himself. And everyone's like, oh, okay, well, he just put 2 in the back of his own head, and he managed to squeeze the trigger twice. Okay. birthday was yesterday. I didn't know how to contact him. I didn't really care. So I didn't bother. He's a real piece of work. They come in all the time. It's ridiculous. In different ways, it's God's. Does everything different than like European countries. They intentionally made it that way, like meters and miles. We drive on the right side of the road, on the left side of the road. I mean, it was intentionally done that way to be different from, I think, the rest of the world when they established this land. Which it was not stolen, which they like to say that, but it was just conquered. There was not an establishment at the time. It was just conquered. Just like people have done for millennia. Just go to a land, oh, well, this is new, let's take it. And that's what they do. And all throughout the entire world, that's what happens. It's just the way it is. I was thinking that, Sven, that it was only the British that do that. That'd be weird, man. I thought about that sometimes, like going to England, just like I couldn't do it. And it's got to be about the same, just different. It's the opposite of what we do here. You can probably turn left on red instead of turning right on red. Or I don't know how that would work. I really looked into it. Don't care. I doubt that I'll ever go to Britain. I have no business going there. And plus, even if I did, the British government would most likely arrest me when I arrived at the airport. Arrest me for using my rights in my own country. That's crazy, man. Britain's like the hell in a handbasket. Man, tell me that your feelings got hurt without telling me your feelings got hurt. And drunk drivers. Drunk drivers drive on the left side of the road and they go. And I think elderly drivers drive on the left side of the road over here. A lot of times there'll be a car coming in the opposite, on the wrong side of the lane, and it's 9 times out of 10, it's usually an elderly person that just made a mistake. I'm actually going to see that in a minute. No, I wish this was a driving simulator. I wish it was. That means I can just hit pause and go do something else. Go to the fridge and get a beer. But I can't because it's not a simulator, unfortunately. No, if we get enough likes and subscribes, you know, maybe we can turn this into a simulator where I can generate enough revenue off the live stream with a simulator so I can just be home and do it that way. Until then, I have to do the real thing, and that sucks. But somebody's got to do it. For now, I have to. Doesn't make it any better, but you got to think positive. But yes, I do wish this was a simulator. It's a hell of a lot easier. I just hit pause right now and stretch. I gotta lay down for a second. As long as you don't throw her in the car with me, That was good, Sven. That was real good. Yeah, that's true, though. I want tea in the harbor. Probably the best laugh I'll have all week. Well, I mean, I don't think we have as many drunk drivers over here as we used to yet. I don't think. I'm not really looked into statistics, and it would vary from each state, you know. But I do know in Michigan, usually in the colder states, there's a higher rate of drunk drivers because there's nothing to do but drink and drive. Or they'll go out and it's so cold, they'll be drinking, you know. That's what they do. It gives them a sense that they're warm when they're drinking. But they're actually not. You're dropping your core body temperature. But, you know, at least you feel warm. But, you know, I get it. Wintertime, the northern state people, they like to drink. Not much to do but go out somewhere and can't go outside because it's freezing. So they drink, they get in cars and try to drive home. Sometimes they make it, sometimes they get busted. I had a friend of mine up in Michigan. He got 2 DUIs, the strictest states on DUIs in Michigan. Like, man, back to back. I was like, dude, what are you thinking? Now he has a successful concrete business. I've been helping his credit for a while now. That's what friends do. He's like, man, I can do so much, but my credit tanks. And I was like, bro. And I was like, what is your truck drivers at work when see a lot of truck drivers at work. Honestly, Miko, I don't see a lot of truck drivers. I did see an older couple, when was this? Back in early summer, but they obviously wasn't drunk, and I could tell. We was talking. They were beside me, kind of like this, but we were at a red light, and he was, come to find out, he was a business owner, and him and his old lady were just having some beers driving down the road, and I could tell they wasn't messed up or nothing. And I didn't see a problem with it. But we were talking out the windows back and forth to each other, and he said, told me he owned a business and something. I was going to go up go find his business and talk to him. And I let him know, it's like, you know, hey, you're fine. I ain't going to say nothing for you drinking, riding down the road. You know, it's not like they were hammered, you know. You could see it in their eyes. They were perfectly fine. And for all I know, it could have been non-alcoholic beverages. I have no idea. I just knew it was booze. But yeah, out here on the road, most of the time, Miko, what I do see is sometimes people will swerve, and 9 times out of 10 anymore, it's because they're on their phone. But what you're supposed to do, if you're driving down the road, and you see, like, if you see the car in front of you, if that car is bouncing between the lines, you know, if you can continuously see it, they may be drinking and driving. And so what you're supposed to do is stay behind them, because if you pass them, the golden rule is like stay behind them, because if you pass them, they can catch you. So you stay behind them, they can't do nothing. So if you do suspect somebody drinking and driving and they're in front of you, don't pass them, stay behind them. Because if they wipe out, you got time to prevent an accident with your own vehicle. But if you pass them, you could create one potentially. They can floor it and catch you and wipe you and them both out. There's a state trooper. I wonder if it's that same one I saw earlier. No way to tell, really. I didn't see this badge number beside the car, unit number. But yeah, in all reality, no, I don't see a lot of people drinking and driving. I see a lot of texting and driving. They're easy to distinguish between the two. The drunk driver will bounce between the lines continuously. And somebody texting they'll swerve over to a line, they'll correct it, and they'll be fine. They'll swerve over again, they'll correct it, and be fine. Somebody drunk won't do that. They'll bounce back and forth. Especially like if they're older people, because like more mature people, because they have the knowledge. Most of them do. I like to believe they have the knowledge. If you have to send something that important, I mean, maybe you should hit the shoulder real quick, or hit a rest area, or exit somewhere and send a text. But most people, you can see them texting, and they'll maintain their lane. And I see cops do it. I see everybody do it, and you know they're doing it responsibly. I mean, that's from my reality, what I've seen. And they'll look, you'll see them look down, they'll look at the road. Look down for a second, look at the road. That's how mature people that know got a really good idea what to do, and that's how you really do it. Your main focus is the road. It's no different than, oh shit, I dropped my drink in the floor. You look down to pick it up. There's no different than looking down to pick that drink up than looking down at a phone and sending one letter. No different. Or looking out your window at that tree, or you saw a deer over in the field. No different. It's the same thing. It's called distracted driving. You know, if you was to look out your passenger window or your driver's side window, you saw a deer mounting a doe, a buck mounting a doe, and you were to rear end somebody, that'd be distracted driving. Same thing, and looking at a phone, it's the exact same thing. Yeah, I don't see many drunk drivers. I mean, I would suspect that most of them, if they are drunk driving, they're not on the interstate doing 90 miles an hour. They're out on the back roads. You know, I think for the most part, people try to do it as responsible as possible. But if you're out getting too much drinking, you know, don't leave the house. I learned my lesson years ago. If I'm drinking, I don't leave the house unless I got somebody sober to drive me. I do not leave the house. Been there, done it. I'll grab me, depending on how far I gotta go, I'll grab 3 or 4 beers, maybe a 6-pack, just to be sure. And I'll tell the old lady, you know, we gotta go, and she'll get the driver's seat, and I'll get the passenger seat, crack me up with a beer, and I'm drinking while she drives me where I gotta go. That's the great thing about being with somebody that is good to you, and, you know, you have a great relationship. If I gotta go somewhere, she doesn't complain at all, she'll drive me. Hit this side road over here. I gotta take a leak. Who knows, since we had this discussion, Miko, we'll probably see something today. You know, what you speak, you're speaking into the universe, and the universe listens. What you speak, it travels out there forever. So, be aware of what comes out of your mouth. Make sure it's good. Try your best to. Sometimes, you know, we have slip-ups. I'm guilty of it. I'm not a saint. I don't pretend to be one. Yeah, I mean, let's say it varies. I used to work with this guy when I was in my early 20s, and he was in his 40s. And me and him, we'd go out, we'd travel, and we would foreclose on homes. Well, as weird as this may sound, like if he was sober, I was scared to be in the truck with him because he could not drive. So I got in the routine of, okay, hey man, when we'd leave out at 6 o'clock in the morning, we'd go straight to the beer store and buy a 12-pack of beer. Because if he wasn't drinking, he could not drive. And so, like, when he was drinking, it was perfectly fine. But if he wasn't drinking, it was dangerous. You know, it's weird as hell that, like, you don't get in the vehicle with this guy if he's not drinking. If he's drinking, you'll be fine, perfectly fine. So every day, we go straight to the beer store every day. Get a 12-pack, or sometimes I drink, we'd get a case. But as long as he was drinking, I didn't have anything to worry about. So that's what we done every day. I'll be damned if I was going to be in a vehicle with this guy and he wasn't drinking. But, you know, it doesn't matter, you know, like, you couldn't tell, you know, law is law, and you couldn't be like, hey, you can't beat this guy if he's not drinking. You know, it just doesn't work that way, because law is law. But that's just the way it was. You don't get with him if he's not drinking. I seen him. Last time I seen him about 2 or 3 years ago. Shoot, he's probably getting up there in age now. I was 21 at the time, so he was like 45. So shit, man, he's probably pushing 70 now. Probably same way as he always was. Can't drive like he's drinking. I know it sounds wild as shit, but it's the truth. He's the only person I've known like that. He can only drive if he's drinking. So basically, you know, it's like, you need to go, need him to drive you somewhere. It's like, hey man, you been drinking? He goes, no. You don't let him drive. Hey, you been drinking? Yeah, I've got about 6 in me. All right, here's the keys. It's weird, man, I'm telling you. I ain't never seen anybody like that but him. There's probably more people out there that have experienced the same situation as someone before as well. I know I'm not the only one. Where there's one, there's more. It's like finding a gold nugget. Where there's one gold nugget, there's most likely more gold nuggets. Do you remember me? Deep? Monish? I mean, yeah, your name sounds familiar. I mean, it's been a minute since I've seen you in here. I am back. I'm glad you're back, man. I like your video. Thank you. I appreciate you liking it. You need to tune in more and join the family. Become good friends like Miko and Spin and a bunch of other people, man. I never really imagined that I'd meet such great guys out there. Older dudes, older women my age, younger girls, and just great freaking people, man. I never imagined doing YouTube I'd meet such wonderful people. It's been fun just talking with them. But it's like physically meeting them, I've not done that yet. But one day I hope to meet all the great people I've met on YouTube. Just so y'all know, I pray for you every time I pray. Because I am a believer. I do my best to follow Christ. I do fall short of His glory. And that's okay. I recognize my wrongs. I do my best to make my wrongs as right as I possibly can. But I am a sinner living in a very modern, sinister world. And it's extremely challenging, but I do my best. I did pretty good this weekend. I did pretty good. I think God would be proud of me. Maybe it's because I was sick Saturday. So every time I slip up and say a bad word, man, I feel mad. I'm like, oh man, I shouldn't have said that. And then I caught myself sometimes, like, all right, God, you see, I caught myself. I'm working on it. I was going by a Bible yesterday. You know, these scam calls, bro. I'm telling you. All these scammers must be on YouTube. You know, somehow got my phone number. I will be back. I hope you will come back, brother. I do. Miko says... I am India, the guy said. Okay, yeah. I thought you were. I thought he was Indian. India is our friends. You notice, like, most of the people on these, you know, since I'm an American, and, you know, I have an American YouTube channel, and I live in America, from America, born and raised in America, multi-generations, it's funny that only the countries that are allied with the United States are on the YouTube channel. You notice that? You don't see Chinese, you don't see well, obviously you're going to see North Korea. You don't see Iranians. What else? I think we've seen Pakistan. They're like 50-50. They're like our friends, but not our friends. It's one of those types of relationships. Like a girlfriend that you get along with 1 minute, next minute she's throwing a microwave at you. That's Pakistan. But yeah, okay, let's... We could say that in Finland, too, there's a pretty wild history of alcohol. Oh yeah, I'm fully aware of Finland's alcohol consumption and their history of it. You gotta look back in history too as well. Not that long ago, Miko, did life like really progress towards a more comfortable living, like indoor plumbing, indoor water, and some places still don't have that. Electricity to like every location, almost every single location in the United States, probably Finland as well, like most countries. Even third world nations now have electricity in most of their country. But that's electricity story is a whole different story altogether. You know, once you think about Nikola Tesla and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, alcohol, man, back in the day, you know, it was pretty common. I mean, it's been cut back now since, you know, millennials and times have gotten a little easier. But 2020, there was a spike in alcohol consumption in the year 2020. And so some people developed an addiction to alcohol in 2020. The people that didn't drink now are active drinkers. I don't know why, like, I guess when you're stuck in the house and you're in fear, what are you going to do? You're probably going to drink. I'm not a very fearful consumption person. I don't really consume a lot of fear. I don't get scared easy. Oh yeah, speaking of being scared, man, I gotta tell you a story here in a second if I don't forget. It's just a deadly combination of it. Yeah, it is, Miko. It is in fact nice to look back. Hi, sir. Hi, Dee. Hi, where are you from, sir? I am from Tennessee in the United States of America. But yeah, Miko, it is bad. Alcohol is bad. You know, you gotta look back, you know, history. Imagine how it was, say you were 22 years old in 1937. Life people drank. That was all they could do. There was no fun activities. Nobody had a TV. Especially if you lived in the country, you know, where your neighbor was 2 miles down the road. It may be a little different in the city, you know. But that's all they could do, really, is drink. And that's what they did. So just to kill the monotony of boredom. In Finland, it was still common in the 1960s to travel on a dirt road by horse and cart. Yeah. See, I like those days, though, Miko, you know. Over here, you see people travel on horses occasionally. You know, mainly, depends on where you're at. And that's something I'd always like to have, is have me some cattle and, you know, a few horses. My aunt has horses, man, and she races them. And one day we're going to go to one of her races. And one of the rodeo she participates in. She wins. Sometimes she wins. But yeah, I'm going to have to take y'all to that one time. Kind heart, but I know I am nonsense. I was giving 10K. Oh, okay, you're giving 10K away. Cool. Do a raffle. I'm going to Kansas, bro. Salute to you. Your hard work. I appreciate that, Dave. I have subbed to your channel. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks for being here, brother. But yeah, Miko, like, that'd be awesome, you know. You know, in World War II, Miko, that Germany, their main transportation in World War II was horses. Because, you know, they had one vehicle for every 11 troops or something like that. And the primary transportation was horses. And it was effective for them. They really capitalized on using that efficiently. It was horses. Social teaching. Yeah, I mean, that sounds accurate. Yeah. We do a lot of teaching here in India. We do a lot of teaching, and some things like everybody listening might know it, or 1 or 2 people might not know it, or something new. Sometimes I don't know something. You know, I'm not a genius, but none of us really are, because they're, you know, a genius to me. Somebody that's really smart. I mean, just because you don't know everything doesn't mean you're not a genius. But just because you don't know everything means you are a little bit stupid, because you don't know everything. The way I see it, we're all intelligent, we're all ignorant. Or what I like to say is we're all intelligent and we're all a little non-intelligent. I don't like to use the words ignorant and stupid. It's just not right, so I like to say unintelligent. Seems to be a little bit more nice, even though I don't have to be. Just try to choose to be. But man, sometimes there's some unintelligent stuff that goes on that really upsets me. And then I try to remember. These wise words that I once heard. Because when you see someone do something unintelligent, do your best to be above that, because they don't know that they're stupid. Think about that. Now try to remember that a lot. I see that America America's older law is more complete than Finland's. We are at odds with the EU and the Finnish Constitution. I'm not really quite following what you're saying, Miko. America's older law is more complete. When you talk about law, I think that the word specific. I need a clear message in layman's terms. We are at odds with the Finnish Constitution. Maybe I should read the Finnish Constitution. Let's check my head. It said hi. Where are you heading? I'm headed to the state of Kansas. I'm going back to Kansas. Face reveal. Man, you can go to my channel and see all that. Everyone wasting their time. And sometimes you have to. Like, how could you be productive constantly? When the moment you wake up, you jump in the shower, throw your clothes on, brush your teeth, and then you get to like, oh my God, what do I gotta do? I don't have to do that for another 2 hours. Then you grab a broom, start sweeping, mopping, you know, like that wouldn't be productive. So there's downtime regardless. Like, who would want to wake up every moment of the day, and as soon as you open your eyes, man, like, jump right up out of bed, jump in the shower, brush your teeth, put your clothes on, start sweeping, mopping, you know, steaming the walls, moving the furniture, sleeping down underneath it. Up there, state trooper, got him, I got him. So when the roads were still sand in Finland. Okay, the roads were still sand in Finland in 1960. The law is also young. America is an old country. The law is also old and generally better. Oh, you're just talking about, oh, got you. You're just talking about law in general. Okay, well, technically, Finland is older than America. Well, if you want to talk about discovery. But established may be a little different. I think Sudan, South Sudan is like the newest foreign country in the world. Reality, though, it's been there for a very long time. Sorry if I said anything wrong. If you said anything wrong, we'd let you know. You know, you're fine so far, India. You're absolutely fine, brother. Yeah, Miko, if you're talking about law in general, I would agree with you that America, although American law is older, I would agree for it to be older is better than a newer version of law in Finland. So I get what you're saying. Like, really, when they, in 1776, well, they say July 4th, 1776, when that's actually not true. That's just what we celebrate. But Independence Day is actually July 2nd, 1776. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you don't have to look far and find out what I'm saying. I'm sure you don't have to anyway. But we celebrated July 4th. Of the, but it's not really the official, it's just what's recognized. They agreed upon July 4th, 1776. But yeah, if you want to talk like Constitution, the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. So it conquers every state law. So if you violate like civil rights, anyway. But yeah, I would agree, like if you're talking about our Constitution, like I would, from my knowledge of countries, I would think that our Constitution is the best in the entire world. Which I don't really know if that's true because I've not read every country's Constitution, which I don't really want to because that would probably take forever. And you could probably pick and choose, okay, well this one's better than our such and such amendment, you know, but you know, like our First and Second Amendment is great. Our Fifth Amendment is great. Not many countries have stuff like that, so I'm not sure about Finland. And some of our amendments are like, you know, which they found it to be important to make an amendment on it, like soldiers in homes, like they have to, during peacetime or non-peacetime, they have to have permission by the homeowner if they can reside there, because it can be a burden on the homeowner to have troops in their home. And so they found it important, I guess, because back in the day people complained and such. You know, because I guess those people would host them to try to feed the troops. And so they made, I think, is that the 13th Amendment? I can't remember right now. India's greatest of all time, number one. I can support your opinion there, India. You know, you gotta love your country. If you don't love your country, something wrong. And then it's not nice. If you don't love your country, you don't love your fellow friend, your family, nothing. I mean, you could have it worse. Like, I don't know why people can't think that. You know, like, it could be a hell of a lot worse. But you have that freedom. You don't have to like America. You don't have to love it. It's all about you. I mean, we were born, like most of us was born in like the best time in human history. Now, if you were born in 2000, like you're 25 years old now, like you was born in a really good time. Like, we live longer, we have food to eat. We don't have to be like, hey honey, I'm going out to hunt some food today. I ain't found nothing in 5 days. You know, you can just get in your car and like drive down to the store and like, hey, I bought some sandwich meat, one for bread. It's not like it used to be. Like, we live in really lucky times. Although, like, war is always on the threshold of something happening. It's been like that since war was invented, for a very long time. And, you know, as long as humans exist, they'll always be. It's just the way it is. India got 1947 freedom. Yeah, a lot of things happened at the end of World War II. The Jews got their own land. Israel came out of World War II. Yeah, you can smash the heart button all the time. Send hearts, whichever one you want to, constantly. I don't mind. I wish you could hit the like a lot of times. I'll tell you what you could do, India. You could share the live to your friends or your social media platforms. That would really show love for your friends over here in America. Okay, don't spam the chat too much, hearts. Okay, that's enough hearts in the chat. Let's not do that. India got 92% freedom. India is like really having a great time. I'm glad you're having fun, India. Family is best. Family can be the best, yeah. They also can be the first ones to, you know, put you know what in your bag. Is that fogging up? What is that? Kind of get rid of that. Oh, there's some flurries. Crack this window. It's cold up there, so it's creating fog on the window. Windshield. Man. Gosh, good. Miko said if the parliament in Finland goes against each other, they will stay there arguing about the matter. It's great for American model to shut down the government. Yeah, they just reopened the government yesterday, Miko, over here. If I ain't mistaken, I think it was the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. Which, I mean, you got to really deep dive into that stuff and like why that happened. You know, you see videos of interviews with these Democrats talking about it's the only leverage we got. We don't want to open the government. It's the only leverage we have, and we got to capitalize with it. And a lot of them said that. Politics is unintelligent. I mean, you can argue. God bless America. It shows. Yeah. It does show. Nice, 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 nice. I mean, I think with about anything you should debate it, you know, especially when it comes to government. But like, you need to compromise sometimes. It depends. Some things don't need to be compromised. That's just the way it is. Like, I mean, if there's common sense basis on it, and you know, there's no sense in compromising it to make it a little different for something ignorant. You know what I mean? It makes no, like, why do that? Why alter it and make it just put a little bit of worse stuff in it so you'll be happy? Like, it's stupid. Why can't people just be like, okay, well, this is really good. Since it's really good, you know, just an example, because I don't know what the hell's going on, because I stay out of it. They want to compromise it to be like, oh, okay, let's put 90 billion in there to study cat litter. Like, why? That makes no sense. Y'all got parliament, you know, a lot of Europeans, you know, Europe has parliaments. Like, I think it's basically like kind of how it is here. You know, we have a two-party system, Democrats and Republicans. They bicker back and forth. You know, so they vote and stuff. So they use them because they're supposed to, like the House, the Senate, they're supposed to be the one that represent the people of their state. So they vote yay or nay, all this stuff. That's the only thing that makes it a democracy. We are not a democracy. The only thing that makes us a democracy is just the simple fact that we vote. Nothing else. Because we are a constitutional republic, Nowhere in the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, Declaration of Independence, nowhere is the word democracy. But you will find republic and constitutional republic. You will not find democracy, because we are not a democracy. We are a republic. I can't stand when they say that stuff on TV. These alleged very smart people running the damn government don't know that we're a republic. They don't go, yeah, the republic, they say the democracy. We're not a freaking democracy. Chill, homie, he said. I mean, there's problems everywhere. I mean, there's no just great answer. But I guess in a way there is, because the Bible says there'll be a one leader, one world government with one leader, with one religion, one currency. I can see that happening. Just look, you know, it's very easy to see that happening. Every government in the world is just hating the other side of their own government, can't get along, and got problems out the behind, and can't fix nothing. And I can see this big person that's alleged a savior come and just take the governments of the world. Like, here's the problem. You take it, you can have it, full power. I can see that happening. And then before you know it, we got the Antichrist ruling the world. One world government. I can see it. They ain't gotta worry about it no more. Only hit point on cross. That's a lot of American going on. Okay? Nah, baby, we love. If you want to be my lover, you gotta get with my friends. Be with them forever. Our relationship would never end. Whatever Spice Girls said. Yeah. Indian pride. All glory be to the Lord. And I guess it's okay to have a little bit of pride. You know, I think you should feel a little good about what you do, as long as it's, you know, it's genuinely good, you know. But there's always side effects to everything. Then I guess I saw on Truth Social, somebody on their phone showed it to me from their account. And he's like, "Hey, read this." And I said, "What's it sound like?" I said, "Well, it sounds like it," because they brought the topic of Trump giving $2,000 to every working American that is not like has a whole like high income people. And so giving $2,000 because they made like $36 trillion in tariffs. And so I was like, yeah, it's probably just a proposal, you know. But he's like, well, read this. What's that? What do you think about what he said here on Truth Social? And I read it and I was like, well, this doesn't sound like a proposal. This sounds like he's going to do it. Sing song. Glory, glory, what a hell of a way to die. Glory, glory, what a hell of a way to die. Glory, glory, what a hell of a way to die. He ain't gonna jump no more. get $109 quadrillion. What would I do? Well, if I was rich, I'd give a lot of people some money. Like, it depends on my level of wealthiness. I would genuinely give it to people that really deserved it, and hopefully, you know, they would do good with it. You know, maybe get themselves out of debt, put it in a high yield interest account, you know, maybe buy a new house or something, you know. Depends on my level of wealth. But first, you know, if you got wealthy, you got to take care of your family first, and then your closest family friends. And so the people you care about the most is the ones you want to make sure is good. And so what's left would be, you know, you got to figure out what you would need to survive without having to work ever again, or at least having to work for somebody else where you can work for yourself. And then you can really, you know, help out just strangers. You know, like you see somebody on the corner, like, hey, here's $500 or $1,000, because you know you don't want to give somebody on the corner too much money, because you don't know what they're going to do with it, because they could do something bad with it and not wake up tomorrow morning. So you wouldn't really want to give them too much money. But I'd give a lot of money to working folks, because nobody ever does anything for the working people. It's always for people that don't do anything. And so that's something I've been wanting to do on this channel, is start a thing for the working folks, the working people. Because I guess people think, well, that dude works, so don't give him anything. No, that dude might work every day, bust his ass, and still struggle. You know, he's making his money. So, like, that's what I'm saying. Nobody does anything for the working people. I mean, if you work for money, you're going to be taxed constantly. It's a heavy burden for decision makers to realize that they're not the prince of the black men. Yeah. Sometimes you got to make a decision, though. What I really hate is those very difficult decisions. Like, oh man, you know, like, you know, even if it's like 2 decisions, I can't think of an example right off the top of my head right now. But it's something that most of us have experienced. It's like you got 2 decisions you can make, and you got to pick one, and the outcome of this one is good, and the outcome of this one is good. And it's just having to pick the one that you want the most. That sucks. Sometimes you pick wrong, though, and it's like, oh man, I knew I should have picked the other one, but you didn't. You got to accept your fate. Sven said, that sounds like socialism, everything that a Republican is against. The only thing I know about socialism is, yeah, that does kind of sound like socialism, doesn't it? You're going to give money. I mean, that's, okay, well, if I gave you $2,000, no, Sven, it would just be a gift. You know, like, here's Sven, here's $2,000. Just sharing some love. But New York City is like going to get a real good taste of socialism. That ain't going to go well. But all you got to do, it's easy for socialism to win races because they promise things that they can't give. They make promises that their ass can't cash. You know, like rent. The mayor has no authority over New York City rent. You know, this is capitalism. If you own an apartment or whatever in New York City, the mayor can't tell you, hey man, hey Sven, you're gonna drop that rent down from $2,500 to $1,200. Like, no, I'm not. You know? mayor has no authority over that. He doesn't. And then he's threatening to like illegally steal things from New York City people, like their apartments and like what was it? I saw him say. He said, what was it? Along the lines of. Mail the landlord the bill, and if the landlord doesn't pay the bill, the city will come and confiscate the building. That's stealing. I didn't give you authorization to come and fix something in my building. You did that on your own wheel right there, from the taxpayers, New York City taxpayers. Hey Steve, hey, hang on guys, my wife's calling. the live, and then people run out of patience, which is understandable, and they leave. They L-E-A-V-E, leave. And it just breaks my heart, man. It just breaks my heart. I just love it. What was that? I am getting calls like cray-cray. Where's the snow? It went away, Bill. It went away, brother. But you ain't here no more, I'm pretty sure of it. Steve, I'm gone too. Hey, Sven. Sven's back. I appreciate you being patient, Sven. Sorry about that. The old lady had a little bit to talk about. She's on her break. She jumped in the chat there and said, hey, everyone. Told her to jump in the live. I was like, honey, I'm doing a live. Why don't you jump on there real quick and tell everybody, hey. She did. Have a good day, smart friend of the sun. Gotta go. Alright, bingo. Yeah, it's different, Sven, but it's also, even the roads is our roads over here, Sven, is it is a type of socialism. Just the roads themselves. You know, America has adopted some forms of socialism. And it made sense. For the roads, anyway. But whether we get $2,000 from the government or what they end up doing though is they end up giving you money like they did in 2020 for the 19 situation, and they ended up taking it out of your taxes. So what I ended up doing when they would send those checks, I would take them and I would put them in an envelope and I'd mail them back to the United States Treasury. Because I didn't want their money. Because all they do is give it to you and then they take it out of your tax return. So if Trump, if the president gives us all $2,000, there'll be terms with it, and so just read the terms, and if you get it, send it right back to the United States Treasury. But here, you can have your $2,000 because y'all just take it from us anyway. What's the point in giving it to us now and then just taking it later? But if you give it, it's a gift. You don't. If I give you $2,000 cash, it's yours. Not if I say, here, I'm going to gift you $2,000, but have fine print saying blah, 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 and then you get your tax return and I take it back. That's not a gift. You're just lending me money and taking it back later. That's a loan. That's what mob bosses do. What they call that? Sharks. They call them sharks or something. Land sharks or something. Now, if there was no terms attached to it, say the president and the United States Treasury gave us all $2,000, and there's no terms to it, like, hey, this is yours, you will not, no matter what, pay this back. In that case, I would keep it, as if you were giving me $2,000, and you're like, hey, you don't have to pay this back at all. This is totally yours. Don't worry about it. If they were going to do it that way, then I would keep it. But if they're not, I'm going to send it right back to the United States Treasury and tell them to shove it up their ass. Because don't say you're gifting $2,000 and then just like fine print saying, oh, well, you're going to have to pay this back. Like, what? Just keep the shit if you're going to take it back. Pardon my language, I'm working on that, but that just, how they handle stuff like that just bothers me. Like how they did with, what was that, the relief thing with COVID-19? Stimulus checks, yeah, stimulus checks, that's what it was. These people got stimulus checks, I don't remember how much they were. And then you ended up just paying it back. It's just a loan. It makes no sense. So they mailed 2 or 3 of them. And I ended up using one, and the other 2, I sent them back. And I actually never got them. I guess they kept them or still never found them. I don't know. So I talked to my accountant, and they told me about, like, yeah, you'll end up paying this back. And so after that, so when my accountant told me that, I ended up sending it back to the U.S. Treasury. Didn't loan it. Or was it the IRS? I don't remember now. Loan Shark, yeah, thanks Sven, yeah, Loan Shark. I do. All right. I need it. So yeah, anytime the government does anything, Sven, they're going to get it back one way or the other. They don't just give you anything, but they expect us to give them shit. So when Trump says that, it sounds, from what he posted, it sounds like he's going to. It's just they'll have to make some type of bill with it, take it to the House, the Senate, then he'll sign off on it, and then you'll be able to read the bill and see if you got to pay it back and all that. And most likely you'll end up having to pay it back. So when you get it, you might as well just send it back to the Treasury Department, tell them to keep it. Government ain't gonna give nothing for free, at least not to the American people. They don't give the American people shit. They just take from the American people and give to people elsewhere. People think it's great to be an American, but it really ain't. We're the ones that get shit canned. What happens is, see, the American dream is real, but it is not for the American people. It's not for white people. It's not for black people. It's not for anybody born in the United States of America. It is for foreigners. The American dream is for foreigners that come here. That's who it's for. They have incentive to come here. They got really good incentive to come here. If I was a foreigner, you damn right I'd want to come to America. Because shit, you ain't got to pay taxes. You'll get like a $500,000 loan to start a business. You don't have to pay that back. And like Sven, if you weren't born here and you live where you're living at in the Netherlands and Germany, you should consider coming here. There's all kinds of incentive for you to be here, but there's not for me. That's the truth. Because knowing what I know, if I was born in like Germany and I knew what I know about America, if I was in Germany, I would do my best to come over here. You're absolutely right, I would. I'd already been here. At my age, I'd already came here, started a business and everything. The American people's the ones that get shit canned. If I start a business, I gotta pay taxes the very first quarter. If I was a foreigner, I don't have to pay taxes for 7 years. And even after 7 years, what I would do is I would sign it all over and put it under my brother or my wife's name and not pay taxes for another 7 years. And if me and my wife had a kid, I'd go back to my home country in Germany. I'd have our kid in Germany. And then when they became older, I'd give it to them so they wouldn't have to pay taxes for 7 years. It's a never-ending cycle. So it's great for foreigners that come here and make something of themselves. But for people born here, it's not as good. You don't have enough incentive to do stuff like that. But how much battery life I got? I got 13%, guys. I got this new charger, but I don't know if it'll reach. How long is this life been going? 2 hours? Well, all I need to get that vote thing. I just let y'all know the wife called. I was letting you know my wife called. Well, there really isn't much incentive for me to come over to the States because I make too much to be used by them. Yes, so over here, I mean, when freight rates go up, whatever that is, then that's when you should come over here. Then you make a lot of money. You know, you could make, if you had your own truck, you could make about 300, where freight's paying good, you can make about $360,000 a year. End up having to end this live because I know y'all don't want to sit in the cup holder and look at me, so my battery's almost drained. I have to fix it. But yeah, hopefully 12%, so I'm gonna have to end this soon before it ends it on itself. So hopefully we can meet back here in a little bit, do this again. If I'm lucky, I have to pay $300 grand for the truck. Probably, yeah. But you know, you wouldn't have to pay $300 grand for fuel. Depends on what truck you got, really. But you definitely, no matter what truck you got, you wouldn't be paying $300,000 in fuel. We can talk about this a little bit later. goes. I'm at the end of this live, Sven. It's great talking to you like always, brother. I go. Enjoy your day. We'll be back here as soon as I can get my battery charged up some, because my charger won't reach to where the camera's at. So gotta stop here soon and get fuel because we about out. Windshield's fogging up. All right, we'll see you, Sven. We'll see you back here shortly, brother. You ain't busy. You ain't in bed by then.